It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away. I go out every night and sleep all day since you took your love away. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see whomever I choose. I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant, but nothing, I said nothing can take away these blues, 'cause nothing compares to you. It's been so lonely, baby, without you here, like a bird without a song. Nothing can stop these lonely tears from falling. Tell me, baby, where did I go wrong? I can throw my arms around any girl I choose, but it just reminds me of you. I went to the doctor and guess what he told me? He said, boy, you better try to have fun no matter what you do. But he's a fool, 'cause nothing compares to you. You planted, mama, in your backyard, all died when you went away. And I know living with me, baby, is sometimes hard, but I'm willing to give it another try, 'cause Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out the beautiful song Nothing Compares to You. We're going to be basing it around the Chris Cornell version, partly because the Sinead O'Connor one just sounds ridiculous if I sing it, and partly because Chris Cornell was one of the greatest rock singers of all time, and he does an incredible version. If you're not familiar with it, I'd encourage you to go and check it out. If you want to play along with Sinead O'Connor, you need to just put a capo on at the 5th fret. All of the same chords I'm showing you, but pop a capo on the 5th fret. If you want to play along with the original Prince version, who wrote the song in case you didn't know, he plays it in the key of B, so you'd need to use these chords and tune your guitar down one semitone. Now, most of the chords are relatively easy, but you do need a B flat bar chord and an F bar chord. So they're the only kind of tricky points, I guess. The rest of it, there's lots of different ways of approaching playing this tune. I'm going to take you through real nice and easy with a simple strumming, and then I'll talk a little bit about trying to pick out some of the notes individually to kind of highlight parts of the melody and that kind of thing. So let's get to a close-up. Check it out. So the chords for the verse, it's starting off with a C for one bar. Now it goes to a G with a B bass. Chris Cornell seems to always play it this way, with his first finger on the second fret of the fifth string, open, open, third finger, fourth finger on the thinnest two strings. I generally play it using second and fourth fingers, and I'm not playing the thinnest string, just because for me, going from the C to the G with a B bass is a little easier, and I quite like the sound of that one. So it doesn't really matter which one you want to play. It is a G chord, but with the B bass note. So you get that nice movement from the C, G with the B bass, to the A minor, which is into the next chord. So C for a bar, G with a B bass, whichever version you want, A minor. Then we got C for 2 beats, then G for 2 beats. And again with the G chord, you could choose to use like big rock G, or the one with just the 3 fingers, or that one. Doesn't really matter. It is up to you. You should be aiming to do a kind of your version of the song. So you should pick the chords that you like the sound of and that you feel that kind of feel comfortable under your hand, because you're never going to play it nice and smoothly and be able to think about the singing and stuff if you're really worried about the chords. So pick the chords that you think sound good and that fit well under your fingers. So that chord progression is played twice. So one more time through that. So 3, 4, we got C, 2, 3, 4 to G with a B bass, whichever version you want, to A minor, 2, 3, 4, then C for 2 and G for 2. Does that again for the intro, sometimes, depends on which version you're listening to, but usually it does the C, G with a B bass, A minor, then C to G. Let's go straight into the verse. Now, here we go. So C. It's been 7 hours and G with a B bass days. A minor, since you took your love away. To C, to G, back to C. I go out every night and I G with a B bass all day. A minor, since you took your love away. C to G, still it repeats the same thing again. C, since you've been gone, I can do a G with a B bass. To A minor, I can see whoever I choose. C, G, same again. C, I can eat my dinner in a fancy G with a B bass, but A minor. Now something different is going to E7, take away these blues. So just a regular E will do, or pop little finger down there to get an E7 if you want. And then we're into the first chorus. First chorus is different to the other ones. It's B flat, nothing to F, B flat again. Nothing to F, to G, 2, 3, 4. That chorus again. So this first one, like I said, it's different to other ones. B flat for 2 beats, then to F for 2 beats, back to B flat, back to F, to G. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're back into another verse. Now, note that the Sinead O'Connor one there does 2 bars of G, but the Chris Cornell version only does 1. I can't remember how many happen on the Prince version. Now, the next verse again is very similar, but it's got a slightly different thing going on the end, so let's check that out as well. So, starting with a C, so C. It's been so lonely, babe, with G bass here. To A minor, like a bird without a song. C. G, back to C. Nothing can stop these lonely G with a B bass from falling. Tell me, A minor, where did I go F? So So it just happens on that one verse going to the F at that point right at the end. Then back to C. I can throw my arms around any G with the B bass that I choose. A minor, but it just reminds me of you. To C, to G. C. I went to the doctor and guess what? E, G with a B bass me. He said, A minor, you better try to have fun. No matter E7, 3, 4. So this is the same as the second verse was, with the E7 at the end going into the chorus. Okay, so it's one of the things to remember there is that the chord progression is essentially the same. It does the F chord in verse 3 at the end before going into verse 4. Verse 2 and 4, which are the ones that go into the chorus, finish on an E7. Trying to remember like a framework for a song, but just then those key moments is a good way of trying to memorize things like this. Now, this next chorus coming up, and the future choruses have a slightly different chord progression, and that is B flat, nothing to F, then A minor, nothing to G, to you, G. And then a second bar of G. So let's do that again. So it's going B flat, nothing to F, A minor, nothing to G, to you, G, 2, 3, 4. And then we're into the kind of instrumental section. Now, when I've been doing it, I usually do like a bit of a second verse going to the E7 and then a little bit of the chorus. But you could really choose what chord progression you were going to do there and how you were playing it. On the Sinead O'Connor one, it just plays a couple of times around the verse progression, doesn't do anything fancy. The Chris Cornell one goes through that chorus progression as well. It makes it slightly more challenging, but also slightly more interesting if you're going to solo over it. If you're going to kind of pick out notes yourself, then it just depends on what you feel comfortable with. Remembering that you've got to stay in time while adding those embellishments, which can be tricky if you go into that chorus thing because you've got the bar chord. So really up to you how much detail you, or how many, what chord progression you want to put there in the instrumental section, because it's different for everyone. Choose what works for you. The next verse is again the same as verse 2 with the E at the end. Do remember that voice comes right in at the beginning as well. So after you've gone at the end of the solo, you've probably finishing on a G, 3, 4. All the flowers that you planted. That's the C chord to the G with the backyard. A minor. All died when you went away to C. G. C, and I know that living with me, baby, is G with a B bass hard. A minor, but I'm willing to give it another E7, cause it's going into the chorus with B flat, come to F. A minor, nothing can G to you, and it normally plays it again, so B flat, nothing to F. A minor, nothing to G with you. Now, again, here at the end, exactly the way you approach this one seems to be different. Lots of different times. The Chris Cornell version is different at the end sometimes. The Sinead O'Connor one, actually, might even fade out. I can't remember what happens on that one just now. I think actually in the solo as well, Chris Cornell at the end of that chorus sequence goes down to an E minor, then to a G, and then finishes on the C. That would be a kind of a standard ending. But again, you know, I'd be encouraging you to try and make up your own version. So you could choose how the ending goes. You know, that would be the obvious one, would be playing twice through the chorus and then going down to an E minor at the end, playing a G chord just instrumentally to you, and then finishing on a C. Kind of works fairly well. So that would be the structure of the song. I would encourage you to play along with either the Chris Cornell one or the Sinead O'Connor one or the Prince one if you happen to be choosing that one, and just play along with real simple strumming, either to 4 down strums to the bar or just strumming on the chord changes is another way, just to make sure that you got those chord changes feeling comfy. When it comes to developing the rhythm a bit, I'd encourage you to work in a 16th note framework. That will be 8 down strums to the bar, doing a bigger strum on the beat and a smaller strum on the end. So something like 1 and 2, 3, 4, and strum. Just a little touch in between. because then you can start to add those upstrokes. Get the feeling of the 16th note pulses, these 8th notes, even 8th note down strum. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2. I'd really work on that a little bit first of all. Make sure you got the feeling of it nice. Once you want, once your hand's moving consistently, you can add as many 16th notes as you like. Doing all of them sounds a little bit weird, I think. Like that. You could. Now, because you've got a bit of freedom there with the strumming pattern that you choose, I would try and err on the side of sensitivity for a song like this. You don't want it to be kind of thrashy. It wants to be kind of sensitive. Don't even feel like you have to play all of the 8th notes, by the way. So you might choose to leave some out. The key thing is keeping the hand moving, because that's what's going to help keep you in time. What you must do is stay in time. Even if you leave things out, you can't just play with the time and kind of stop and start too much. You can slow down a little bit and speed up a little bit. But it's, I'd suggest that you try not to, and you might accidentally speed up and slow down a little bit. But just really feel like so. It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away. Try and be soft with it, be sensitive with it, and as long as you keep that hand moving, you can play less. Okay, and that's an important thing, is to be aware of the dynamic here, that you, in those verses, you want to be really bringing it down a little bit and trying to sing sensitively and play sensitively, so it kind of marries. You don't want the rhythm to be too strident and too strong, otherwise it'll kind of upset the balance of the song. These kind of songs where it's essentially kind of simple sometimes can be hard too, because you've got to get the sensitivity level right. Okay, it's not just bashing out the chords. The chords are relatively easy, right? But trying to make it into a tune that sounds good to listen to requires that understanding of the song and where it needs to be a little bit harder and a bit more forceful, and when it needs to kind of chill out a little bit. So step 1, play the chords, just simple strumming along with the original recording. Step 2, start to integrate some sort of strumming pattern or some sort of rhythm, feeling out that 16th note feeling, the 8 down strums to the bar. Remember, it's called 16th notes because there's 8 downs and 8 ups, so 16 possible strums in the bar. So work on that a little bit. Then it's time to start introducing a little bit of embellishment if you want. And there's a couple that really kind of make the song sound like the song, particularly on the song on the C. There, just at the end. So it's gone from the C. It's been 7 hours and 16 days. A minor. Or A minor 7 you can also play. Some of the recorded versions with Chris Cornell, he's definitely playing A minor 7 rather than full A minor. It's just a choice thing. But here, C. And the melody is this. Do, 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 da. So from C, you're just adding this C sus4, but I'm targeting do, do, da. So I'm really, you have to be a little bit careful with the pick there, and I'm just trying to pick the 5th and 4th strings, and then I lift off little finger, and I'm trying to target that 3rd string as the highest note I pick. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and now I'm going do, do, targeting the 4th string, targeting the 5th string, 3rd string. I'm hitting this B string sometimes. Again, it's a little embellishment. It doesn't really matter that much. I think on the record I hear, on the Chris Cornell one, he's targeting this 3rd note. So he goes, little finger here, it's the top note, Doesn't matter, as long as that the highest note of a chord is the one that sticks in our ears melodically. So just having that C. So the next step along from that is whether you want to get into the idea of trying to pick out some melody things as well. You need to be really confident with the rhythm first, because if you start trying to add in the embellishments and knock yourself out of time, it's not going to sound good. People really notice when you start playing around with the time, like if you add extra beats or whatever. So you need to be really confident with playing it first, but then it is really good fun to experiment with it, you know, on the C. So now I'm just picking out the melody here. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. Little finger down, 3rd fret on the 2nd string, open. 16 days, open G. Next bit's tricky. A minor, so I'm playing A minor 7, but targeting the 3rd string. Then we're at that riff. Starting to play around with other variations. Don't feel like you have to play the melody exactly, particularly in the solo section. It can be fun to just explore it. Remember, with the C here, you've got access to that whole scale, so just having being silly now. I wouldn't recommend that you're playing like whatever scaly things are not really going to sound very hip, but all I'm trying to show you is that you've got all of those things available, and you should just experiment and have a play around, see what you can get. There's on the B flat, obviously you're a little bit more limited. I was using the little Hendrix. It's under the Curtis Mayfield rhythm trick if you want to learn more about how to do those kind of little tricks there. But you don't have to. A minor. You could also substitute this little, I like this A minor here, the open 5th string, 7th fret, 5th fret, open. Okay, this is my addition. This isn't on the original recording. A minor to G. I like this G, add 9 as well, adding 2nd finger. There really are lots of different ways of playing this song, and I think that you should explore lots of different approaches and see what works best for you. Make it your own. Make it your own cover, rather than doing the Chris Cornell one or just the Sinead O'Connor one. That's what I would recommend that you do. Anyhow, look, I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. Remember, there are tabs for it over on the website if you go to justinguitar.com/tabs. And yeah, have yourself a fantastic day, and I'll see you for plenty more very soon. You take care. Bye-bye.